numerous very important functional units called nephrons, which are the structural and functional units of excretion. What do you mean by lower animals? Where the body is not well organized like the higher animals, do not have a better body organization. Ureotellic animals, those animals which eliminate the nitrogenous waste in the form of ammonia. Ammonia is highly toxic. Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another very interesting physiological process, that is chapter 19 of your syllabus called Excretory Products and their Elimination. So welcome back to session 1 of this chapter 19 called Excretory Products and their Elimination. Myself, B. Shobharani from the Department of Biology, Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, the Temple of Excellence. Hope you remember in the last previous sessions we learnt about a very important physiological process called digestion and absorption and breathing and exchange of gases. In today's session we are going to study about yet another very important physiological process, that is excretion. I think all of us know very important process is excretion, that is the elimination of the waste from the body. As we all know that the toxic elements that are produced through a process called excretion cannot be retained in the body for a longer time, and they need to be eliminated at times when needed. If not, they are going to prove toxic to our body. So that process of elimination of the waste from the body is called excretion, and particularly the elimination of the nitrogenous waste from the body is called excretion. Now let us study about this wonderful physiological process called excretory products and their elimination. In this beautiful picture you can see the structure of kidney. So in human beings, the kidney are the organs of excretion, and kidney is made up of numerous very important functional units called nephrons, which are the structural and functional units of excretion. Now let us study about this very important physiological process. As you all know, this physiological process is not taking place in the same manner in all other organisms. But in humans, this process of excretion of the nitrogenous waste from the body is carried on through a very important organ called kidney. So what is excretion then? How do we define the word called excretion then? Excretion can be defined as elimination of nitrogenous waste materials like ammonia, urea and uric acid is called excretion. The nitrogenous waste that are produced in the body are of different types. It might be in the form of ammonia, which is highly toxic, or it might be in the form of urea, less toxic, and 3, that is uric acid, which is least toxic. So the elimination of nitrogenous waste in animals might be in the form of ammonia, or which is highly toxic, or it might be in the form of urea, which is less toxic, or it might be in the form of uric acid, which is least toxic. Based on the type of nitrogenous waste materials that are excreted, the animals are broadly classified into 3 categories. So what are the 3 categories? One is called ureotellic animals, ureotellic animals, and 3 ureotellic animals. So based on the nitrogenous waste the animals eliminate, they have been broadly classified into 3 types. So those animals which eliminate ammonia as the nitrogenous waste are called ureotellic animals, and those animals which eliminate urea as their nitrogenous waste are called ureotellic animals, and those animals which eliminate the nitrogenous waste in the form of uric acid, they are called as ureotellic animals. As we all know, ammonia is highly toxic and it is easily soluble in water, and urea is less toxic compared to ureotellic, which is least toxic. So moving on to the types of nitrogenous waste, that is based on the type of nitrogenous waste that are excreted, the animals are classified into 3 groups, that is ammoniotelic animals. So ammoniotelic animals, ureotellic animals, ureotellic animals. Now let us understand what are ammoniotelic animals. The animals which excrete ammonia as nitrogenous waste are called ammoniotelic animals. Ammonia, as we know, it is highly toxic and it is easily soluble in water. Usually the aquatic animals like fishes, tadpoles, etc. excrete ammonia. So the animals which excrete ammonia as the nitrogenous waste are called as ammoniotelic animals. As we all know, ammonia is highly toxic and it is easily soluble in water. So usually the aquatic animals will eliminate the nitrogenous waste in the form of ammonia. So ammonia is highly toxic and soluble in water. So the elimination of ammonia requires large amount of water. Obviously, all aquatic invertebrates, the bony fishes and the tadpoles excrete ammonia. So excretion, how do we define the word called excretion? Excretion is nothing but the process of elimination, removal of nitrogenous waste materials like ammonia, urea and uric acid is called excretion. So based on the type of nitrogenous waste the animals excrete, they have been broadly classified into 3 types. What are they? Ammoniotelic animals. Ammoniotelic animals which eliminate what? Ammoniotelic animals eliminate ammonia as their excretory waste. Then ureotellic animals which eliminates urea. Then ureotellic animals which eliminate uric acid. Right? So ammoniotelic animals, those animals which eliminate the nitrogenous waste in the form of ammonia. Ammonia is highly toxic, as we know, and it is easily soluble in water. So usually we come across aquatic invertebrates like the bony fishes and tadpoles excrete ammonia. Moving on to the next group of animals called ureotellic animals. Ureotellic animals. The animals which excrete urea. Ureotellic animals. Ureotellic animals. So, what are ureotellic animals? Here you can see in this beautiful picture the proteins, the amino acids which will be broken down into nitrogenous bases or base, ammonia, then urea and uric acid. So, see here you can see the aquatic animals which eliminate ammonia, then the mammals, most of the amphibian sharks, some bony fishes like urea. Then birds, insects and reptiles, they eliminate uric acid. So, ureotellic animals are those animals which eliminate urea as their nitrogenous waste. So ureotellic animals, the animals which excrete urea as nitrogenous waste are called ureotellic animals. In man, urea is produced in the liver by the process called ornithine cycle. So in man is called as ureotellic animal because man eliminates the nitrogenous waste in the form of urea. So in man, urea is produced in the liver by the process called ornithine cycle. Urea, as I said, it is compared to ammonia, it is less toxic. Compared to uric acid, it is better, it is more toxic than uric acid. So it is less toxic and soluble in water, and the elimination of urea requires moderate amount of water, whereas the elimination of ammonia requires large amount of water. So what are the examples you are going to give for ureotellic animals like the cartilaginous fishes, the frogs, mammals, etc. So what are ureotellic animals? So here you can see the classification of animals into ammoniotelic, ureotellic and ureotellic animals. So here you can see fishes, they are ammoniotelic animals. Birds, insects, reptiles, ureotellic animals. So urea, it is called ureotellic animals. So ammonia, those animals which eliminate ammonia are called ammoniotelic. Urea, ureotellic. Uric acid, ureotellic animals. So based on the types of nitrogenous waste that are eliminated. So ureotellic animals, the animals which excrete urea as nitrogenous waste are called ureotellic animals. In man, urea is produced in the liver by the process called ornithine cycle. Urea is less toxic and soluble in water. The elimination of urea requires moderate amount of water. Examples, cartilaginous fishes, frogs, mammals, etc. Then moving on to ureotellic animals. Ureotellic animals, that is ureotellic animals. Ureotellic animals. Ureotellic animals. So all these are called ureotellic animals. These will eliminate uric acid as their nitrogenous waste. So the animals which excrete uric acid as nitrogenous waste are called ureotellic animals. The elimination of uric acid requires less amount of water. Usually you might have come across birds and insects, then reptiles will eliminate uric acid in the form of pellets, which requires less amount of water. So the animals which excrete uric acid as nitrogenous waste are called ureotellic animals. The elimination of uric acid requires less amount of water. Example, reptiles and birds. Then different types of excretory organs in animals. Do you think the excretory organs are of the same type in all the organisms? Definitely not. For example, in human beings, kidney is the organ of excretion. So for example, in case of cockroach, malphizian tubules are the organs of excretion. Like scorpion, green glands are the organs of excretion. So Nephridia, like in annelids, Nephridia are the organs of excretion. So for example, like when we come across the lower animals, what do you mean by lower animals? Where the body is not well organized like the higher animals, do not have a better body organization. So in such cases, they have minimum organs to carry on the process of various physiological process. One such process is excretion. So now let us study the different types of excretory organs in animals. So in most invertebrates, these structures are simple tubular forms. So they are not so very complex organs like what you come across in human beings like kidney. So in most of the invertebrates are called lower animals. Why are they called as lower animals? Because they don't have a better body organization. So invertebrates, they are called lower animals because they don't have a better body organization like what you come across in higher animals. So in most invertebrates, these structures are simple tubular forms. Vertebrates, like for example, like mammals. Vertebrates have complex tubular organs like kidneys. Then protonephridia, like for example, you come across in platyhelminths, flame cells are the organs of excretion. So flame cells are they're also called protonephridia, are the excretory structures in platyhelminths. In annelids and cephalochordates, like protonephridia, is osmoregulatory in function. So here you can see the malphizian tubules in insects, right? So here you can see the zebra where the kidney is there, right? So in most invertebrates, these structures are simple tubular forms. Vertebrates have complex tubular organs called kidneys. Protonephridia or flame cells or the excretory structures in platyhelminths. In annelids and cephalochordates, protonephridia is osmoregulatory in function. So we don't come across the same type of excretory organs in all the animals, as we know that animals differ, and as such, the body organization is very much important to carry on various physiological process, whereas in case of invertebrates, the body organization is not that much developed, as we all know that the complex animals have evolved from simple. So from simplicity, the animals have evolved to complexity. For example, like in mammals, we have a better organs to carry on the process of excretion like the kidney. Then nephridia, as we all know, like for example in annelids, like earthworm and leech, you might have come across. Nephridia are the tubular excretory structures in case of earthworms and other annelids. So here you can see the nephridia are broadly classified into pharyngeal nephridia, integumentary nephridia. Then here you can see the septal nephridia. So each segment will have the nephridia. Perithema means earthworm. Perithema means earthworm. So, Nephridia are the tubular excretory structures of earthworms and other malphizian tubules. Like if you happen to come across cockroach, thread-like structures. So there are small thread-like, yellow-colored thread-like structures called malphizian tubules, which are the excretory structure of most insects, particularly cockroach. Then antennal glands or green glands are the excretory structures in crustaceans like the prawns. So Nephridia, as I said, the excretory organs are not the same in all the organisms. Like in higher animals like mammals have kidney as their organs of excretion. Nephridia, flame cells are the organs of excretion in case of platyhelminths. Nephridia are the organs of excretion in case of annelids. Malphizian tubules are the organs of excretion in case of insects. Then antennal glands or green glands are the excretory structures in crustaceans like prawns. Hope you have understood the first very important session of this very interesting physiological process called excretory products and their elimination. As we all know, all these physiological processes are very important. As I said, all these physiological concepts what we are learning is not just from examination point of view, because all these are the processes which are happening inside the human body. So understanding these physiological processes is very important for us from knowledge point of view, as we know that how important all these processes are. If there is something wrong in the functioning of this physiological process, I think the whole body will be disturbed. So I'll be back in the coming session with some more interesting concepts of this wonderful chapter called excretory products and their elimination. Till then, goodbye and thank you.